Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will understand a very beautiful poem, The Pulley by George Herbert. So let's start. George Herbert was a Welsh poet and priest. He wrote religious poems. The poem, The Pulley, shows why man is restless. It shows the two-way relationship between God and man. So let's begin with the poem. When God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by. The poet says that when God first created man, he had a glass of blessings standing by. See the first line, friends. Sound of the letter M is repeated in made and man. So the figure of speech is alliteration. In the second line, all the qualities given to man are indirectly compared to a glass of blessings. So, the figure of speech is metaphor. Let us, said he, pour on him all we can. God thought that he would be generous and shower on man all the gifts possible. Let us, said he. The figure of speech here is inversion. Why? Because the words are not in correct prose order. The correct prose order is he said, let us. Let the world's riches which dispersed lie contract into a span. Riches means wealth. Dispersed means scattered. Contract means collect together. Span means small space. God intended that all the treasures of the earth which lay scattered should be collected and concentrated in the small space he had created. And what is the small space? Man. Dispersed and contract are opposite words, so therefore the figure of speech is antithesis. जब ईश्वर ने इंसान को बनाया, उनके पास आशीर्वाद, वरदानों का ग्लास था। उन्होंने कहा कि दुनिया की सभी रिचेस यानी भलाइयां या अच्छे क्वालिटीज जो फैली हुई हैं उन्हें समेटकर इकट्ठा करके इंसान को दे देते हैं. नाउ लेट्स टेक अप द सेकेंड स्टैंजा. सो स्ट्रेंथ फर्स्ट मेड अ वे. गॉड गिव मैन द फर्स्ट गिफ्ट दैट इज strength. Friends, your strength is personified as making way, so therefore the figure of speech is personification. Then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. Strength was followed by beauty, wisdom, honor, and pleasure. When almost all was out, God made a stay. When God had bestowed nearly all the gifts on man, he stopped for a while. Friends, made a stay means paused. The figure of speech is alliteration. Why? Because the sound of the letters AL is repeated in almost and all. Perceiving that alone of all his treasures rest in the bottom lay. Perceiving means noticing. God noticed that he had gifted all the treasures to man except one, and that one was rest. Rest was the only gift which remained at the bottom of the glass. Perceiving that alone of all his treasures, here all the qualities bestowed on man are indirectly compared to treasures. Look at this last line, friends. Rest in the bottom lay. It is a pun. What is a pun? Well, when a sentence or line has two different meanings, the figure of speech is pun. Here, the word rest has two meanings. Firstly, it means the last one remaining. And secondly, it means to relax. This line is also an inversion because the words are not in correct prose order. The correct prose order is rest lay in the bottom. ईश्वर ने पहले इंसान को ताकत दी, फिर सुंदरता, इसके बाद बुद्धि, सम्मान, और फिर आनंद। जब उनका गिलास खत्म होने आ ही रहा था, ईश्वर रुक गए। उन्होंने ध्यान दिया इस बात पर कि उन्होंने पूरा खजाना इंसान को दे दिया था, सिवाय रेस्ट यानी आराम के। Friends, before we proceed to the next stanza, remember that when a person talks to himself audibly, it is said to be a monologue. The following two stanzas are monologues of God. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature. So both should losers be. Bestow, give as a gift too. Jewel means precious, valuable thing. Adore means love very much. Rest over here means enjoy. God said to himself that if he bestowed this precious and valuable gift on his creation man, then man would love and worship only the gifts of nature. Man would not love God who had created nature. Thus, both God and man would be losers. Very true, friends. Rest makes us feel satisfied. When we have rest, we don't desire anything more. We might even stop remembering or praising God, our Creator. So God held back the gift of rest from man. For if I should, said he, here the figure of speech is inversion because the words are not in correct prose order. The correct prose order is he said, for if I should. Look at this line, bestow this jewel also on my creature. Here the figure of speech is metaphor because the gift of rest is indirectly compared to a jewel. And rest in nature, not the God of nature. Here the figure of speech is repetition because the word nature is repeated. So both should losers be is an example of inversion because the words are not in correct prose order. The correct prose order is so both should be losers. ईश्वर ने अपने आप से कहा कि अगर मैं रेस्ट यानी आराम, यह ज्वेल गहना इंसान को दे देता हूं, तो इंसान मुझसे नहीं बल्कि मेरे तोहफे से प्यार करेगा। नेचर यानी प्रकृति में आराम से रहेगा, खुश रहेगा, प्रकृति की पूजा करेगा और मुझे भूल जाएगा। इससे दोनों का नुकसान होगा। Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Rest means here remaining gifts. Repining restlessness means continuous anxiety or worry due to dissatisfaction. So, God let man keep all the remaining gifts, but at the same time, He let man restless, dissatisfied, and anxious, worried. Repining restlessness. Look at these two words, friends. The sound of the letters RE is repeated pleasingly for better poetic effect. So, therefore, the figure of speech is alliteration. Let him be rich and weary, that at last, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast. Weary means tired. Toss means bring close to. God thought, let man be rich with the gifts which he has showered, but let man also be tired, restless, so that if goodness did not bring man back to God, restlessness, tiredness would draw man back to God. Let him be rich and weary. Friends, this is an excellent example of paradox. Here, rich and weary are contradictory ideas. May toss him to my breast is an example of synecdoche. Why? Because breast, a part, stands for God, the whole. तो बाकी की सारी ब्लेसिंग्स, गिफ्ट्स उसके पास ही रहने दो, बिना आराम, सुकून, चैन के। उसे अमीर रहने दो, लेकिन थका हुआ। ताकि जब वो थका हुआ हो तब उसकी अच्छाई, भलाई उसे मेरे पास न लाती हो तो थकावट से वो मेरे पास जरूर आएगा। फ्रेंड्स, the pulley is the simplest form of machine. It works only when it is pulled. The poet has given the title The Pulley to the poem. He wants to say that God has bestowed abundant riches and graces, yet man is continuously restless. God uses the pulley of restlessness to draw man towards himself. This poem is a metaphysical poem. Why? Because a religious belief is conveyed through a scientific image. And what is the scientific image over here? Obviously, the pulley. Friends, man is continuously restless all his life. Why? According to the poet, God withheld the quality of rest from man so that man would turn towards God as creator. This is the central idea of the poem. We may be rich and have abundant qualities, but we must always adore God, praise God, and thank God for the many blessings He has bestowed on us. Friends, if you liked the video or learned something from it, please click on the like button, share the link and subscribe my channel if you haven't yet. We will meet soon in the next video. Till then, keep smiling. Bye.